let's start with our pick of the week, and I will cede the floor to you, Mr. Rohde.
So my pick of the week is one of the games that you had mentioned. It's in Notre Dame, Louisville. I'm actually going to take Notre Dame -6.5 on the road. I just think Notre Dame is a better team. I think they've been battle tested now. I think you might have maybe a little bit of a sense of relief with this team now, especially after having such a heartbreaking loss against Ohio State, knowing that they can come back against the team and close out a game like they did against Duke. And I think this will be a big test, obviously, for Louisville. But overall, I think they're going to be able to establish the line of scrimmage with Audric Estime. If they get a couple of their wide receivers back, I think Sam Hartman could potentially have a field day. If Georgia Tech is able to put up 34 points, I mean, shit, Boston College put up almost 30 against this Louisville defense as well. I think that Notre Dame will be able to move the ball with relative ease. And right now, Notre Dame also has, I believe it's like a 31 game winning streak against ACC opponents. It's the longest actually in ACC history, even though Notre Dame is not an ACC member. So they've been really, really good in these situations. I think this could be a game. Maybe Louisville gives them some issues late, but then I see Notre Dame pulling away. So give me Notre Dame -6.5 on the road.
All right, I'm going to take another 6.5 point spread. Give me Texas -6.5 in the Red River game against Oklahoma. This is just a case of I think there's a tier difference between these two teams. I think Texas is head and shoulders above everyone else in the Big 12. They have arguably the best win of any team in the country at Alabama. I think Kansas is good. I think Kansas could win 7, 8, maybe 9 games this year, and they really separated themselves in the second half. And when we saw Oklahoma kind of get tested for the first time against Cincinnati, that offense struggled, only put up 20 points. I think Texas and Quinn Ewers is going to be able to do whatever it wants. So give me Texas -6.5 against Oklahoma. We'll go to our underdogs of the week now, our upsets, and I'm going to take Maryland +19.5 against Ohio State. I know Ohio State beat Notre Dame. I just don't think Ohio State's 20 points better than Maryland. I think Maryland is again a 7, 8, 9 win team. I think Ohio State clearly is better, and I know they're coming off a bye. I think Mike Locksley gets his guys up for games like this. I think the quarterback discrepancy isn't going to be as vast as it was the last handful of years. I think Maryland might have one of the best 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the conference in Taulia Tagovailoa. So I like Maryland. I think they're playing really good football. They're playing really good offensive football. They're doing what they have to do. They're blowing out bad teams. And I think they go into Notre Dame, and I think they lose by, 14, 10, 17, something like that. So give me Maryland +19.5.
I like that. Like you mentioned last year, they kind of gave Ohio State all they could handle last season. Ohio State had to score 43 points in order to win that game last year. My underdog pick this week, I don't know if they're not a huge underdog. I'm not sure if this even counts, but I'm taking Purdue +1.5 versus Iowa. Oh man, this is gonna be a low scoring game. I don't think Iowa's gonna score. The only way Iowa wins this, and they could win it, is if they get like another pick six or another Cooper DeJean, 70-yard punt return touchdown like they had this past week against Michigan State. Michigan State is bad, man, and Iowa was tied with them late in the fourth quarter last week before that DeJean punt return. I think Purdue has a pretty solid offense. I think they'll be able to get enough scoring opportunities. I mean, if they score 20, that might be enough to put Iowa away, who's playing with a second-string quarterback with Cade McNamara done for the rest of the year. They're also banged up, I know, at receiver and at the running back position. So give me Purdue +1.5 on the road in Kinnick, taking out the Hawkeyes.
I'll tell you what, Lucas, I also have a pick in this game. It's my lock of the week. And I think you're missing a pretty obvious one. Give me the under 39.5 in Purdue, Iowa. I mean, Iowa doesn't have their starting quarterback. We think each team's going to get to 20. Absolutely not. This has all the makings of a 17-14 game, a 13-16 game, 20-7, 20-10. Give me the under 39.5. That's my lock of the week in Iowa, Purdue.
I don't mind that. I might take on that. Because, I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. It usually is between these two teams. I do have an over under actually in the game that you just had your lock of the week with, or your underdog pick with Maryland. I'm taking the over in Maryland, Ohio State, over 56.5. I think this is a game that you could see, like you mentioned, last year this game hit over 70 points. I think you mentioned, I think Maryland may have the quarterback advantage in this game with Tua. He's a seasoned veteran, has played a lot of games in the Big Ten. And I just don't think Maryland is really like afraid of Ohio State like they were maybe years ago. And I think they're going to be able to put up some points. This has been a very good Ohio State defense, so the worry might be there. But I do think Ohio State, if they're playing well, could potentially put some numbers in the high 30s, maybe even the low 40s, if they start to stretch this game out. So give me the over. In Maryland, Ohio State at 56.5.
I like that. I like that because if Maryland's going to cover 19 and a half, they're probably going to have to score a lot of
Yes.
points. You have to get probably in the 30s. So I like that as well. All right, that's going to do it for us.